Sup, nerds? I have literally never done one of these stupid ass videos in corpse paint before, but I make one exception ever to do corpse paint, and that is on Halloween/Halloween related things, because that is the only time where it is acceptable to be wearing this silly ass bullshit and posting it in any kind of public forum. For the record, I am recording this on Halloween. It'll be a miracle if it actually gets uploaded today. The video that comes after this was recorded, like 5 months ago, roughly. And if you're wondering about this big ass gap between videos, blame the editing software I was using. For the record, HitFilm, do not recommend it. That's what I was using for literally every single video, like prior to this one. Now I'm using a 2012 MacBook with iMovie. So if the quality goes up and looks a lot more similar to Canyon's, that's legitimate coincidence. It just so happens that my friend Jonas, which by the way I'm going to be plugging our music in the description, most likely if I remember, was generous enough to give me their old MacBook that they don't use anymore so I could edit and record audio and shit. Speaking of which, I actually have a full-on, like, recording condenser mic and all that shit now. So yeah, there's going to be music. There's probably going to be covers and shit as soon as I can figure out how to work GarageBand and things of that nature. And if you're wondering what my little Halloween getup is supposed to be, I'm supposed to be you fucking nerds. And I've even got a little plastic chalice here with a skeleton hand on it. I'm not actually going to be using this. I'm going to be drinking sparkling water all throughout this fucking video. But yeah, I'm also recording this on Toby's phone. So again, if like there's a random like jump of like quality between videos, for the record, I still use Galaxy, and I'm very happy with the quality of it. It just so happens that airdropping the video is a hell of a lot quicker and easier than attempting to fucking upload everything to Google Drive, then download it from Google Drive onto the MacBook, yada yada, so on and so forth. I even, and I apologize, I'm a little scatterbrained right now. I didn't take my meds this morning, so I'm probably going to be all over the place. I also don't have notes. I just pulled out shit that I know that I can talk about, because I've been kind of busy since Friday, and today is Monday, and yeah. Happy Halloween, though. It's my favorite fucking holiday of the year. But yeah, to complete the stinky, nerdy, angry black metal hard-ass look, got on an Inquisition cutoff, my inverted crucifix necklace, my Botane beanie, and I haven't even showered or put on deodorant today. Ha ha ha. And if you're wondering what we're listening to in the background, I figure since unintentionally I made this a spooky video with, well, mostly spooky with the music that I'll be talking about. Some of it is much more just like easy listening / workout music, at least for me. I figured I'd kind of go on theme. Cult de Ghoul Coven, or Evil Ways Instead of Love. Canyon, you know I love you. You know you're my baby daddy. But this is like third best. It's still not as good as Hacks and Headbane, but I'll be damned if I let somebody slander this shit, because perfecto. Alright, to start the video off proper after all of that rambling, again, to stick with the spooky, scary Evo theme, we've got Acid Witch with Evil Sound Screamers, and I have actually had this for quite a while, I want to say. I want to say since last year, and just haven't talked about it, but I'll be damned if I'm not ready to talk about some fucking Acid Witch on Halloween, especially after the fucking banger of an album that they just dropped at the first of this month. Rot Among Us is officially my favorite Acid Witch album, period, and it's a fucking crime that the vinyl isn't coming out until 2023. But I digress. Anyway, Evil Sound Screamers, their 2017 album, and if I'm not mistaken, this was 5 years after they put out Stoned, and I don't know how long since Midnight Movie Massacre, if I'm remembering the title correctly. It was their EP after Stoned. But yeah, it was quite a big space in between like full lengths for Acid Witch, and it's kind of remained that way, honestly, because Evil Sound Screamers, and then came Rot Among Us just this year in 2022, which is kind of weird thinking about it, honestly, but I mean, fuck it. It sounds like every second of those 5 years that they spent between Evil Sound Screamers and Rot Among Us, they spent perfecting everything that they could for Rot Among Us, and I'll be damned if it isn't fucking perfect. But that's not saying much, because Acid Witch, in my opinion, has done absolutely no fucking wrong. A couple of them on the EP between Evil Sound Screamers and Stone is a little, not bad, but certainly not my particular cup of tea, but it's still fucking good. Anyway, you saw the front, here's the back. Concept art, if I'm not mistaken, is from Shagrat, and Slasher Dave, Mike Tuff, Phil Warren. There's the inner sheet, lyrics, and you know I had to get this bitch on candy corn vinyl. By the way, I will also not be accepting any candy corn slander ever, because candy corn is the shit, and I'm a fat ass at heart. I will literally fuck up an entire Walmart's worth of fucking candy corn if I need to. Then it also comes with this little pumpkin carver thingy, tape design on pumpkin, poke holes along back line, carved with sharp knife. Nothing on the back. I'm not going to use this, nor will I ever use this, but it's cool that I think to my knowledge, every Acid Witch album has come with one of these, at least on vinyl. Again, would literally never use any of them, not even for collection's sake. I just don't do pumpkin carvings because pumpkins are expensive, even like, and it wouldn't really be wasting if it was one of those like foam carvable pumpkins and you get it at like Dollar Tree or some shit, but still not something I'm particularly interested in, so And then last thing that it comes with is this semi-cool poster. It's got Shagrat, Slasher Dave, Mike Tuff, and Phil Warren all at the bottom here with the dope as fuck cover art. And honestly, I don't normally think of myself as a fan of posters with like the band members at the very bottom there, but this one is like tastefully kind of on the smaller side, so this might actually get a frame one day. And if you don't know, Put Out Through Hell's Headbangers, but I feel like that should be a given at this point. Yeah, dude, I don't really know what the hell else I can say about Acid Witch that hasn't been said 1,000,001 times by people who are much more well-versed and prepared for video than me. But I fuck heavy with Acid Witch, and I always have, and I mean literally no exaggeration by this entire month until maybe like the last week, I've listened to basically nothing but Acid Witch if I'm going to or from work or to the fucking gym. Mostly Rot Among Us, but a heavy portion of it has been Evil Sound Screamers and Stoned, which Witch-Tannic Hallucinations is just a little bit too slow for me in the morning and at the gym, but on the way home, it's fucking great. Anyway, I Hate Halloween is a standout track for me, even though that is fucking heresy for me. Enter at Your Own Risk, Hard Rock Halloween, and Evil Sound Screaming. I really shouldn't need to give you recommendations, but in case you've never checked out Acid Witch, if you don't like Death Doom and the like slimy, swampy pumpkin sound, this isn't really going to change your mind, but I'd still recommend giving it a shot anyway. If you don't like this, absolutely check out Rot Among Us, specifically Gather Each Witch, Gundella the Green Witch, and I'd say Devil's Night Doom. Those are probably my 3 favorites at the moment from the new album. Anyway, give this one a listen if you haven't and you do know that you like Acid Witch or just Death Doom in general. This is Acid Witch with Evil Sound Screamers. Next up, we've got something I've been waiting for since 2020, and I'll be damned if I'm not fucking, like, just nutting in my pants at the prospect of finally owning this. I've owned this for months now, but again, it's been months since I've recorded the video. Blame Hit Film, and a little bit of me too, but mostly Hit Film. This is Imperium Decadence with Priscilla Vadens, and holy fucking shit. In 2020, when I saw that the pre-orders for this shit went up before it had even been pressed, if I'm not mistaken, I hopped on that shit like, I hopped on it like a fly on shit, dude. This is debatably one of like my top 3 favorite black metal albums, and again, I've said it before, especially in actually the last video that I posted, but a huge portion of it is due to this fucking cover art, dude. I found out about Imperium Decadence because of this cover art, and it just fucking hooked me. It's like it's a different kind of spacey sound than something like Dark Space has, but it's all its own, and I fucking love it, and it's a shame that I never see anybody talk about Imperium Decadence, because at least as far as this album goes, this is fucking solid. And I'd say Metals and Nostalgia too. The other 2 albums that are titled in German that I can't remember off the top of my head, those I can see somebody kind of ignoring because not like, oh, it's just kind of sort of atmospheric second wave black metal. But no, this shit is magnifique, motherfucker. Anyway, here's the inside of the gatefold. And then there's the back. If I'm not mistaken, it is virtually the same as it is through the CD layout, but I'm totally fucking okay with that. I really wanted to continue the Collector Scum Life and get every fucking variant that I could for the re-release that they did for Metals and Nostalgia, and then every possible variant for this, because again, like, top 3 contender. But I have been a very broke motherfucker for, the better part of, like, 5-ish years now. what can I say, man? Adult bills and shit aren't exactly the most fun fucking thing in the world. Yeah, I also know the dangers of maxing out a credit card now. So, anyway, yeah. Again, this is atmospheric black metal from Germany. It's ridiculous how long it took for this shit to come out, but COVID kind of fucked everything up. And at a certain point, I was actually a little bit worried that it was never going to come out, but it did. And it came with this as a result. At this point, we want to say thank you all for your support and your patience during the long time of waiting. Of course, we appreciate it, and we saw again that we have the best fans beyond the dark forests. Black metal from the Black Forest in Germany. That's just a thank you for waiting on the fucking pre-order, which I know that they probably mass printed those, but either way, it's good to know that they're like, yeah, this is taking a lot longer than we expected. Sorry, guys, we kind of feel like assholes a little bit, like, kind of out of our control. And then I got mine on gray vinyl because I feel like it fits the overall coloring of it. And then, I know it's gonna drive some of you fucking nuts. Choke on it. Very nice. There you go. Very nice etched back end for side D, since the last track isn't, it's not like listening to The Satanist or Carcass's Surgical Steel, where they made it 45 RPM just so they could Earache could sell something with 2 records instead of 1. Or, God forbid, 2 records with only 3 sides. Ooh, the scariest thing of them all, Lost Prophets. Anyway, here is the lyric sheet. Here is the credits with Horace and Vespasian. The last 2 things that it came with, although how desperately I wish it came with a fucking poster. Ugh. Did come with 2 stickers that I am not going to use because I like having backups of stickers, and I don't have. These are actually weirdly the first 2 Imperium Decadence stickers that I think I have. Maybe with the exception of When We Are Forgotten, but that album kind of left such a meh taste in my mouth that I just kind of forget about it, honestly. Sorry, that jump cut really shouldn't have needed to be a thing, but for the first time, I think literally ever, my fucking record player had a dust bunny on the record, and it was actually causing it to skip. First for everything, I guess. Anyway, yeah, if you haven't checked this shit out, I'd actually say that Imperium Decadence is a solid, starter black metal band. There's not any controversy with them as far as I'm aware. If that's something that you want to avoid, which if that's the case, I don't know why the fuck you want to listen to black metal, but I digress. Again, I don't think there's any controversy with them. It's sort of a pretty, in a way, colorful record, but colorful as in like complicated shades of gray, which that in itself isn't fucking a bad thing whatsoever. Again, highly recommend you check it out. First song that I ever got introduced to with these guys is A Million Moons. I'd say An Autumn Serenade, Ocean, Mountains, Mirror, and Lacrimae Mundi are all really solid tracks to check out. Yeah, if you don't know them, fucking get into them, dude. I've been talking about these guys for years. This is Imperium Decadence with Priscilla Vadens. God damn it. Alright, and the next one that we got on the chopping block for today is a fucking doozy, and when I say that one of the songs on here in particular was unironically, like, the only thing I listened to for like a week and a half, 2 weeks straight for whenever I went to the gym, I fucking mean it. This is Bolt Thrower with Those Once Loyal, and this is only the second piece of Bolt Thrower that I have in my collection, but that's okay, because any bolt thrower in my collection is a good thing. Are you done spazzing the fuck out now? Anyway, Bolt Thrower, death metal band from the UK. This album they put out in 2005, if memory serves me correctly, which I'm fairly certain. Yeah, I want to say that's right. So, fuck, that means it's been, fuck, dude, 17 years since this album came out. And if you guys know anything, this put out through Metal Blade, by the way. Again, don't expect any kind of consistency. I didn't take notes for this video. But if you guys know anything, both are actually disbanded in, I want to say 2015, 2016, one of those two. And that was because of the death of their drummer, who had been with them for the last couple of albums prior to this one, as well as this album, which is, I mean, it makes sense. The dude had so much fucking soul and just, I don't know how else to describe it. There's a certain fucking style that the guy fucking brought to Bolt Thrower in his drum work, and it was fucking perfect, dude. Here's Gatefold. You can actually see right there and right there. It's a little bit beat up, but in fairness, I think I got it for like $20 off of Discogs, so I can't complain too terribly much. You might have also noticed that one there. Jesus Christ, also that one on the back. There's the back, by the way. Anyway, their lyrical themes, if I'm not mistaken, are all themed after Warhammer 40k, which, nerds, I just obsess over fantasy stuff, not sci-fi fantasy. That's a joke, by the way. I obsess over sci-fi and fantasy because I'm a double nerd. Anywhoosies, if you haven't fucking heard Bolt Thrower and you're into death metal, there's a serious fucking problem that needs to be remedied fucking effective immediately, because Bolt Thrower is just out of this fucking world, dude. The only reason that there was such a big gap between albums before, they disbanded is because they said that their goal was to eventually put out the best Bolt Thrower album that could not be topped, and they would not put out more music until they feel like they topped their previous bit of work. And at least in my opinion, because I don't know a single other Bolt Thrower fan who says that Those Once Loyal is their favorite, and granted there is probably a healthy amount of bias that goes into this. This is my favorite Bolt Thrower, and I can see why they stopped putting out music, because how the fuck do you improve on this shit, dude? Oh my god. Specifically Anti-Tank Dead Armor, that's a song that I listen to for 2 weeks straight anytime I need to work out. The fucking hook in that song alone, dude, I felt like I could lift a house off of its foundation and fucking punt a child into the sun. It's good shit. And it's not even like melodic death metal, it's just straight death metal. This isn't coming with anything, just the vinyl, which is actually fairly thick. I know you can't really tell, but it's decently thick. The music plays well, and that's really all that matters. I'm not too big of a nerd as far as the quality of the jacket or anything goes. Granted, would I like it to come with a poster? Sure. Would I like it to come with a separate lyric sheet? Also sure. But is anything better than what Thy Art Is Murder did for Dear Desolation? Absolutely. I will take lyrics on the inside like this, opposed to, oh, we're gonna clip out that guy's face and that guy's face in the center of this wheel and have just 3 different spots on the inside with the lyrics. Dumbest fucking thing ever. What can you say? CJ needed to save money so he can go buy some more Adidas and windbreakers. Anyway, I can ramble on about rich deathcore musicians for a fucking eternity. Lucas, man. But yeah, dude, if you don't know, again, you don't know Bolt Thrower, there's a serious fucking problem. This is, as Sean would put it, a bad Johnny. This is good shit, and I genuinely cannot recommend that you stay in there, you whore. I genuinely cannot recommend that you check out this record enough. Bolt Thrower as a whole is worth every fucking listen you could ever give any album, but this record in particular, I'm very nostalgic for, but I do genuinely think that this is the best thing that they did. Bolt Thrower, Those Once Loyal. Alright, and this is actually going to be the last one that I show, and I know that I am one record shy of what I normally do. However, this video is going on long. I'm recording it on my fiance's phone. I have to get used to a new editing software, and honestly, the other record that I had pulled out for this does kind of fit the sort of kind of spooky theme. However, it's a Panopticon, so I'd actually like to have notes for it because I don't want to do Panopticon any level of injustice. Whereas like Bolt Thrower, Acid Witch, and Imperium Decadence, I could literally ramble off about those off the top of my head for fucking ever. Anyway, this is Corpsessed with Impetus of Death. Yeah, Impetus. I don't know if that's actually how you pronounce it. There's a song in the back here that says Sortilege, which sounds French. So who knows? I actually don't know where Corpsessed comes out of. Anyway, this one I might actually be doing a little bit of an injustice, and if so, I apologize for it. I might actually go back in a future video and correct anything that is wrong. But Corpsest is a death metal band. I believe that this is their first album that they put out in 2017. And I mean, this is good shit. I wouldn't have bought it on vinyl otherwise, because again, limited money. So I gotta be really kind of picky and choosy with what I do end up getting on vinyl, especially considering this shit's like, you know, 20, 25 bucks a fucking pop. Put on Dark Descent Records. There's nothing overly special, I'd say, about Corpsest as compared to, I don't know, like another death metal band, but that doesn't mean that it isn't good and not worth a listen. Here's back, by the way. Song titles, Big Editor of Doom, Sortilege. The names on the credits list actually look German, but that does not mean mutually exclusive from French. But yeah, Corpsest is... they're not exactly like super high up on my list of like shit to get around to all the time, but I'd be lying if I said that I didn't like enjoy any time that I see that they have some new shit out, or like, oh hey, something popped up on Bandcamp, or oh hey, their new album that they put out not that long ago. Like, it was a good fucking listen. Again, it's just not priority number one when I am like getting like, okay, I've got money. What records do I want to get? You know? But yeah, anywho, let's get around to showing you what this comes with. Just got it right here. Convenient. Corpsest, this is the credit sheet. Here's the lyrics side. And I gotta say that I am a pretty decent fan of this fucking art on here. Because it's got that kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It almost looks like wood carvings, but not like medieval wood carvings like on that Doombringer record that I showed however long ago that was. Like 3 years ago. It's not like that, or even like that Arfaxit that Sean sent me. Not like those wood carvings, but they do have this very specific look, and the main thing that's kind of coming to my mind is Elden Ringian. Probably a better comparison I can make, but oh well. This is just on black vinyl, and the center labels are Dark Descent with a spooky skeleton and this vortex of, I'm assuming, the event horizon of a black hole, given that the last track on this side is Starless Event Horizon, so who knows? Anyway, I've rambled on long enough, and again, I'm probably doing a huge disservice to Corpsest, but again, this video I am absolutely pulling out of my ass, and yeah, check it out if you fucking haven't though. If you do like good death metal, these guys they're absolutely fucking worth listening to, dude. It's not that I can't sing the praises enough, it's just that I don't want to sound like an absolute ass. So anyway, if you haven't checked them out, Corpsest, Impetus of Death. Whatever. Alright, that's it for this video, guys. Again, I'm sorry that it's one record short of what I would normally do. But again, I've got to try and get this out before midnight tonight. And you can thank my baby daddy Canyon for that. He's the one who kind of encouraged me to do this. It's good timing. Record just ended as well. Yeah, you could thank Canyon if it wasn't for him.